In this class, we will discuss about the design steps of laterally unrestrained and unsupported beams. So, in the earlier classes, we have seen that laterally unrestrained beams they are subjected to torsional buckling. So, both lateral buckling as well as twisting will be there in that case because the compression point of the beam is unsupported and it is subjected to lateral torsional buckling. So, in such types of problems, the data should be given or like this. Type of the beam has to mention head load, live load, span, grade of steel, end conditions. Of course, this dead load is the nothing but the weight of the section which we are going to assume. But depends on the, of course, the other parameters also. And we have to refer these pages 54 to 59, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59 pages of IS 800 for complete design of laterally unrestrained or unsupported beams. So requirement is IS 800 and steel tables because we have to choose the section required from steel tables. So usually IS LB, IS MB and ISWB sections are used in the case of steel beam design. So light beam or medium beam or wide beam. So heavy beam sections normally used for columns. Now the steps they run like this. First we have to calculate the factor that is design load. So sometimes they may give you the problem factor load itself, or sometimes they may give the design load, service load. So if they give service load or working load, we have to multiply that by the partial safety factor for loads gamma f. Normally it is 1.5 for dead load and live load. So that is done. Then based on the type of the load, we have to calculate the maximum bending moment, which is also called as design bending moment divided by m, and the design shear force, maximum shear force V, and the section where it acts. Suppose for example, normally if it is UDL, dead load is UDL and live load is also if it is UDL, then maximum bending moment occurs at the center, and if it is little supported beam case, then it is WL square by 8 maximum bending moment, and maximum shear force will be at the supports where the value is WL by 2. So like that, depending on the type of the load, it may be concentrated load, it may be UDL, so whatever they give, corresponding formula for calculating maximum bending moment and shear force should be used. If it carries more than one load, we have to add the values, and the critical value we have to take. Okay, so that is what. So this step, first step, this depends on the type of the load and also the formula for the maximum bending moment and maximum shear force. Then the second step, we have to assume a trial section. Normally in the case of design, we are going to have two steps: preliminary design and final design. In the preliminary design, we have to assume certain section for calculating the bending stress. So there is a thumb rule for assuming that the trial section. Even in RCC also, we are doing the same thing. So trial plastic section modulus, that is ZPZ. So plastic section modulus is denoted by ZPZ or simply ZP, because ZZ axis is the major axis. So this is, as I already told in the earlier lecture, so this is even horizontal axis along the cross section is ZZ axis, vertical is YY axis, and along the length like this, it becomes the XX axis. So what we have to do is we have to choose a section such that the ZPZ required, whatever is required, should be equal to m into gamma mu by Fy, where gamma mu is the partial safety factor which is taken as 1.1, and Fy is the yield stress of steel, which is expressed in Newton per mm square. If it is Fe 4 times steel, then Fy is 250 MPa. So we have to substitute that value, and we have to simplify here. If knowing m value, gamma mu is 1.1, yield stress value depends on the grade of steel that we will be knowing, and that should be multiplied by 1.25 to 1.5 as a multiplying factor, because in the case of laterally restrained beam, only this is the formula. In the case of unrestrained beam, due to the effect of lateral torsion buckling, we have increased the value by 25 to 50%. So that is why it should be multiplied by 1.25 to 1.5. After getting this value that is required, choose a suitable section from steel tables such that ZPZ, whatever you have chosen from the steel tables, it should be slightly greater than or equal to ZPZ required, whatever I have got here. So please note that the ZPZ value will be in millimeter cube, because M will be in Newton millimeter, Fy will be in Newton per millimeter square. So therefore, after simplification, you get ZPZ required plastic section modulus in millimeter cube. So you have to choose ISLP or ISMP or ISWB depending on the value of ZPZ required from steel tables. Next, the third step. So that is written here. So after choosing the section, it may be any one of these. You write down the diagram like this and write down the values of all these. So BF is the width of flange, TF is thickness of flange, R1 is radius at root, D is the depth of web, H is the overall depth, TW is thickness of web. So these values you can get from the steel tables for the section which we have chosen. Now after that, you have to check whether this section is plastic or compact or semi-compact. So that I had explained in the earlier lecture. So these ratios have to be calculated, B by TF and D by TW, where B is half of this BF is B, that I have explained in the earlier lecture. So B by TF value and D by TW value you have to find out, and D is nothing but this B is nothing but this H minus 2 times TF plus R1. So actually this, to check this, you have to refer table 2 of IS 800, which is there in the code. Okay, so that using that table, you have to check whether you have to check for both the flange and web whether they become plastic or compact. Normally, plastic or compact sections are preferred compared to semi-compact. So that's why while choosing itself, you can choose plastic or compact section. Then the fourth step. After choosing that section, you have to checking that section. Fourth step is you have to calculate an important moment called elastic lateral torsional buckling moment, MCR, or critical moment. You have to calculate, whose formula is given in page 54 of the code. Formula is there. You need not remember the formula. You can just take down the formula. This is the formula which we have used for calculating MCR, which contains that E value, Young's modulus of steel value. Iy is the moment of inertia of the chosen section about the YY axis. Then this LLT is nothing but the length of that lateral torsional buckling beam length. So then IW and IT, so those things you can calculate using the respective formula which is given in the same page 54 it is given. You can calculate that. I will explain that when I take up a numerical example. Then that also can be written as beta B into ZPZ into FCRB. So either you can use this formula or you can use this formula. Actually, values of FCRB, which is called as the critical stress, they are given in the form of table in page 57. I think it is better if you use this one, then you need not calculate this. Okay, so directly beta B, ZPZ is for whatever we have chosen for this section, and therefore FCRB is obtained from the table which is given in page 57. So where this beta B is defined like this, its value is taken as 1 if the section whatever you have chosen is plastic or compact. Its value is the ratio of elastic section modulus to plastic section modulus if it is semi-compact section. So if you are choosing plastic or compact, directly you can take that beta B value as 1. Then ZPZ value, of course, you are going to get for this azimuth section. FCRB you can get from the tables. Otherwise, you have to calculate this IT, IW and all, and I have to substitute here. Young's modulus is you can take 2 into 10 power 5 or 2.1 power 5 MPa for steel. So either you can calculate MCR using this formula or using this formula for which the value can be obtained from the table. So after this, after getting this MCR value, this MCR value will be in Newton millimeter because it is a moment value, Newton millimeter. So this is the very important step in laterally unrestrained beams, because in the case of laterally restrained beams, we are not calculating this MCR. Directly we are going to calculate MD. So here after calculating MCR, we have to get the value of MD. MD is the final value, it is the design bending strength. It should be greater than or equal to your maximum bending moment. So for calculating MD, you require MCR. Next step is after getting MCR, you have to calculate one more non-dimensional slenderness ratio, which is there as lambda LT. Once again, this is obtained in page number 54. This formula is there on the code. So you can use that formula, and this is the formula we can use for that. And one check is there. It should be less than or equal to square root of this. That you have to check. So whatever value you get, lambda LT, beta B, ZP into Fy by MCR under root, it should be less than or equal to this. And of course, this can also be written like this. So Fy you will be knowing for the given grade of steel. If it is Fe4 times steel, then Fy will be 250, and FCR we have here. So if either you can use this formula or this formula for calculating this lambda LT. It is the non-dimensional slenderness ratio. Then after that calculation of this lambda LT, one imperfection parameter or imperfection factor alpha LT, of course that is given in the code. If it is a rolled steel section like this, these sections are rolled steel sections. So if they are like this, alpha LT value is 0.21. Suppose it is welded section. So sometimes welding is done here. If you are joining plates instead of a single rolled section, if you are connecting the two flanges and the web in the form of plates, then it is a welded section. So if it is a welded section, you have to place the alpha LT value as 0.49. So after assuming this alpha LT value, you have to calculate one more parameter called phi LT. Once again, this is available in page 54. So this formula, so you can just substitute in this formula, get the value of phi LT. So lambda LT you have got from this step, and alpha LT you have assumed based on the type of the section. Calculate this phi LT. All these are non-dimensional parameters. That means they don't have any units. After getting phi LT, you have to calculate the bending stress reduction factor, which is xi LT. So all these are Greek letters. Xi LT, for xi LT, this is the formula 1 divided by this phi LT plus phi square LT minus lambda square LT whole to the power of 0.5 or square root of that. So this also once again doesn't have any unit, and the thing is this should be less than or equal to 1. This value whatever you get, it should be less than or equal to 1. So then after getting this xi LT, you have to calculate design bending compressive stress, which is denoted as FBD, which is given by xi LT into Fy by gamma m. Once again, gamma m here is 1.1. Fy may be 250 MPa. So that value, of course, this value of FBD you can also directly get from page 55, 56. So depending for alpha LT is equal to 0.21, you can get the value of FBD from page 55. For alpha LT is equal to 0.49, you can get the value of FBD from page number 56. So directly you can read it out, or you can use this formula. In both the ways you can do. Slight variation may be there, so that you can neglect. So after getting this FBD value, when that FBD value is multiplied by ZPZ and beta B, ZPZ for this whatever residue section into beta B, it can be 1 or ZD by ZP. So after multiplying this FBD by ZPZ and beta B value, that is the value of this design bending strength, that is MD value. So MD is the design bending strength. So that value whatever you have got, it should be greater than or equal to maximum bending moment. Then only it is safe under bending. So after checking for bending, then the section is safe. Then you can go further. You can check for shear, as well as you can check for web buckling, web crippling and deflection, all those things. That completes the entire design. But in the examination, they will ask you only for designing for or bending strength, so then you can stop at this stage. If they ask you to do the complete design, then you have to do for web buckling, web crippling and deflection also. Of course, those designs are available in the other pages, that is 58, 59 pages. Those details are available. When I take up a problem, I am going to explain those other parameters. So main design is this. So initially we have to calculate the maximum bending point and maximum shear force, and you have to assume a trial section by calculating ZPZ required value. You have to choose a trial section in such a way that the ZPZ required should be that is ZPZ whatever you are going to provide, it should be greater than or equal to ZPZ required. Then check the section for plastic or compact or semi-compact section by taking these ratios and using table 2 of IS 800 code, which I had explained in the earlier lecture also. Then you have to calculate, after you classify the section, then you have to calculate MCR, which is very most important moment in laterally unrestrained beams, either by using the formula which is given in page 54, or we can use the table which is given in that page 57. Then after that, you have to calculate lambda NT, non-dimensional slenderness ratio, either using this formula or this new formula, and you have to check for this. So all these values, ZE, ZP, all those values, or we have to take for the section what we have assumed here. So for that section you have to take. Then imperfection factor you have to assume based on board section or welded section. Then we have to calculate another reduction stress resistance factor called Xi and phi NT parameter have to calculate. Then Xi NT we have to calculate using the phi NT and lambda NT. Then FBD, design bending compressive stress, which is given that formula, or you can use this page 55, 56 tables are available. Directly you can read out of FBD. Then design bending strength MD is given by beta B into ZPZ into FBD. So that value should be greater than or equal to M. So then we say that if this is satisfied, then the beam is safe against bending, or it has got sufficient flexural strength. Afterwards you can check for shear, web buckling, web crippling and deflection. That completes the design.